back to my channel, Adventures with Amirah. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos for you guys, but it's a very heavily requested video. And these are going to be your top 10 tips for how to save money at Disney World in 2018. Let's get started. Number 1, skip the park hopper option if you are trying to save money. The reason for that is, if you've never been to Disney World before, there is so much stuff to do on your first visit. Just getting to know the lay of the parks and what's in each park, you really want to be able to enjoy that park for the day and really get your money's worth out of that ticket. If you add a park hopper option, it gives you the option to go to multiple parks in one day, but you may not have time to do that and it can be a waste of money. To add the park hopper option is usually between $55 to $75 more for that ticket, and I really don't see it as a good value unless you're on a really short amount of time and you already have very specific things that you want to do in each park. That's about the only way that it would really save you money and time, is if you were just trying to do more than one park in one day. You don't want to buy 2 different park tickets if you could buy a park hopper, of course. Number 2. Go before your child turns 3 years old. It's free for children to go to Disney until they're 3. For a 4-day park hopper, that's probably around about $300. So that's a lot of savings for you guys. And we took our daughter, we started going when she was maybe about 10 months old. And she still remembers a lot of things that we did as far as character dining and things like that from even when she was 2. So I would recommend, if you have a child and you're thinking, oh, I don't know, we should wait till they're a little bit older, I really think you should go ahead and go. I mean, that's a huge savings and they'll have so much fun. Number 3. If you are bringing an infant or a toddler, any child up to about age 5, I would recommend you bring your own stroller. We're military, and so before we were always traveling from Colorado and we always brought our stroller with us, especially when they're little. They just don't want to, go for so long without having somewhere to sit down. And to rent a stroller at Disney World can be around $13 to $15 a day, and it's just not worth it. You have all the germs that are already on those strollers, and you have to, me personally, I would have to sanitize them, and they're quite cumbersome. They're really big, versus if you go ahead and just buy a small umbrella stroller that's a better quality. It's not too heavy, but you can load it on and off of the buses at Disney or the boats at Disney. The one that we loved was the McLaren stroller. It was a little bit more pricey, but we had already gone through 2 or 3 strollers that seemed to just not do well in uneven terrain. We travel all over the world with our kids, so it was really worth it for us to have that McLaren stroller. It was super lightweight. It folded up really easily and quickly for my husband to just sling on his shoulder. It's stored really easily in an overhead compartment on an airplane, and we had it for years and years, and I think it lasted till she was almost 5 years old. But I really would recommend you bring your own stroller. Number 4, you're going to save a lot of money at Disney World if you plan what you're going to do for your daily itinerary ahead of time. And sometimes people recommend you buy those travel books, like Walt Disney World maps and things that you can get in one book and a travel guide. But honestly, you can check those out from the library for free. We do that with most of our trips. We'll buy a few travel books here and there for the kids because my son loves to plan things like that. But we always go to the library, and if they don't have that book for you in your library, you normally can order it from another library and they'll have it sent to that library for you. I didn't realize that until we were getting ready to go to France, and we wanted some Paris city guides and they didn't have them available, and they actually brought them in from another library. There are a lot of Disney World touring books that you can get. It's a free option to help you plan out your day. The reason you want to plan out your day ahead like that is so that you don't waste time just roaming around the park. I mean, it is fun to just kind of stop and see things, but if there's certain rides and things that you definitely know that you want to do, you want to plan that ahead of time, because that's going to determine 2 or 3 different things: where you're going to eat, what fast passes you want to get, and what activities. If there's like character meet and greets and things that you want to do ahead, you want to have all of that planned before you ever go in the park, and it just makes things so seamless. Number 5. One of the most important things that you need to know about going to Disney World is how to get your fast passes. And fast passes are absolutely free at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. So I guess at Universal Studios and SeaWorld, I did not realize this because we don't go there as often, you have to actually pay for fast passes, and they're quite expensive according to what ride you're trying to get on. Whereas at Disney World, you can book up to 3 fast passes ahead of time per day. So what I would recommend that you do is to purchase your tickets online ahead of time if you have the opportunity. Now, if you're staying at a Walt Disney World property, you will automatically be given a magic band. And a magic band is a bracelet that you wear, and all of your information is stored on that bracelet. Your room key's actually on there, your tickets are loaded on there, and you can do all of that through the online site My Disney Experience. And that brings me to number 6. The big thing that I would recommend for people to do is get a family map printed out and have it mailed to you. Disney offers this service for free. If you go on My Disney Experience, you normally can plan out your maps for Magic Kingdom, for Epcot, for Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. And you can pick out which ones for your family you know that you want to do in your itinerary, even up to places where you want to eat. And it will put all those things on a special map for you with your name on the top. And it's just really cool. So it will already be highlighted where you know you want to go. And it's a free souvenir that you can get. They mail it to you. We have so many that we collected over the years, and they're really cool. Some of them look like pirate maps. I mean, they have different options to choose from, but that's something I would definitely recommend as well. Number 7, collect free souvenirs that Disney offers while you're there. One of the souvenirs I've mentioned before in other videos are the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom cards, which you can get when you first get into Magic Kingdom. There's like a little city hall, and there's a spot you can ask any of the cast members as you come in. But you can go in there, you just basically sign up, and they have Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game. And I'll post some photos for you guys so that you can see what you do.
You have the advantage this time, but I shall not be stopped! That wicked old witch didn't right there, running on. Oh my! Oh, it's her not. There's only one way to find out what Maleficent's really up to.
So basically they give you these little cards. They're like little baseball cards, and they have spells, and so you kind of have an adventure that your family's on throughout the park. There's all these secret portals. It's really cool. So some of the portals are like hidden in a restaurant. You're like looking for them on a map, and you're like, where's this portal? I can't see it because it's kind of like a window, but then when you walk in front of it, there's normally a medallion on the ground, and you stand there and like this magical thing just comes out of nowhere, like within the window. One time it was like within a fireplace at a restaurant we were at. I was like, this is so cool. You can get new cards every time that you go, and you can get cards for each of your family members, and they're pretty collectible. I think there's about 52 different spell cards. There may be more than that. We have quite a few because we're pass holders, so we go quite often. And my kids love to play that game. If we're going and we're just having a relaxing day at Disney, that's something that's really cool. And your whole family will get all different cards, so you have quite a collection already. But it's just a free thing that they offer. And I also wanted to mention, now they have transportation cards that I learned about recently, where if you're on a boat or a monorail or a bus, you can ask the driver for a transportation card, and I had never seen these before, so I'm interested. I think we're going to go this coming weekend, and I'm going to see if we can get some transportation cards so I can show those to you guys. Number 8, take advantage of the free photo opportunities that Disney offers. So this is how it works. If you have a ticket and not a magic band, they still can scan your ticket and put your photos onto that ticket. So if you see photographers throughout the park, you can just go up to them, get a picture of you and your family in front of the castle, and then if they go ahead and put that picture onto your ticket, you can find it online. You can take a screenshot of your photo that was professionally done, and they even will take pictures for you with your own camera. So if you get there and they're taking pictures and you say, will you take a picture with my camera too? They always will. They're so wonderful about that at Disney World. It's one of my favorite things about the park, is how the cast members really go out of their way to make your vacation special, and I would definitely recommend it. And if you're like us, when we're traveling as a group, it's hard to get pictures of all of us together. Now, they also take pictures when you're on a bunch of the different rides. I know in Epcot, we love to get the pictures done on Spaceship Earth. We also do pictures on the different roller coasters and things that they have. It's just a super cute family souvenir, and those are also available when you come out of the ride. They'll be up on a screen. You can just zoom in with your cell phone and take a picture of that. I see people do it all the time. I was like, I didn't know we could do that. That's pretty cool. Number 9, another way to save on parking. So Disney World has a place called Disney's Boardwalk, and it's its own separate little area that's a beautiful resort style area around a beautiful lake, and they have all of these little restaurants and things like that. So the parking for the Boardwalk area is free if you're going to eat over there. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a secret back gate to Epcot that's right off of the Boardwalk. So when you go to park at the Boardwalk, you can take a boat ride that's also free and go right to the back gate of Epcot, and then you don't have to pay to park at Epcot that day. You also could take a bus from at the Boardwalk Resort where you're already parked and ride all over the park that day. There's a lot of ways, and parking can be $20 a day. So keep that in mind, everyone. They don't really recommend that you do that, but let's just say you want to go to lunch. Why not go to lunch at Boardwalk? Then you have a reason that you're parked there anyway. They don't give you passes or anything to show if you're a resort guest or if you're, you know, staying somewhere around there or where you're eating or if you have a certain time period or anything like that. And people go there to shop. It's kind of like Disney Springs, but not exactly. It's a lot more quaint, and it looks like more like a northeast coast little village. It's a beautiful area. And if you're just looking for somewhere to go, like if you're not staying on Disney property and you're staying somewhere else and you just want a free thing to do for the day, you can actually go to Boardwalk, look around, and there's a bunch of hotels right there. So you've got Boardwalk Resort, you've got Yacht Club Resort, Beach Club Resort, the Swan and Dolphin Resorts, and you can get to all of those either walking around the lake or you can just take the little boats, and it has stops at each one. That also goes up to the back gate of Epcot, and it also goes over to Hollywood Studios. So you could go to either of those parks from there, and you can go visit the resorts and just plan a whole day around that. And I do recommend that for other people, to just take time out one day and not do parks and just go see all the awesome stuff that Disney has to offer. But honestly, just seeing the parks all the time that you're in Florida just gets to be so overwhelming, and sometimes you just need a break to just relax. Those were always the best vacations that we had, when we would come down, and even if we were staying 6 days, 2 of those days would just be spent just enjoying ourselves and relaxing and not having to be, you know, on a regimented schedule to where we're trying to get to this ride and that ride and do so much in one day. And when you take time to do that, it just makes such a difference, and it's free. Number 10. Another way to save money at Disney World, if you're not going to be going to the park one day and you don't want to do any of the free activities, they have so many awesome activities at the resorts. One thing that we like to do is to either go to the Boardwalk or we'll go over to Port Orleans Riverside Resort, and they have these bikes where you can have 4 people on at a time, and they're just so much fun. They're a really cool thing to do with your family. They also have fishing at Port Orleans. I believe they have pony rides over at Camp Wilderness. So there's so many awesome activities that are far less expensive than just going to the parks. The parks now all average around $100 a day. Some are more than that. And so if you have a family of 4, $400 versus like 20 bucks to go, you know, on a bike is just such a cool way to do new things that you don't normally do at home, but they're still so much fun. I will say, when we did the bike ride around Port Orleans Riverside, it's one of the most beautiful memories that we have, because it's a quintessential southern style resort. It looks like all these southern mansions on this river, and there's these beautiful oak trees with Spanish moss hanging down, so it's nice and shady. You're going along these little pathways all along the river, and you feel like you've just stepped into a different moment in time. I mean, it's just so peaceful and so beautiful, and it's one of the least expensive things we've done at Disney World, but also the most memorable. So I would recommend things like that. I'll include maybe a little clip from some of our bike rides. We've stayed here before.
Yeah, sometimes I love it.
And if you guys have any questions for me, please leave a comment down below. I've had so many views on that last video I did a few years ago. If you haven't seen those tips, I'll leave a link to that as well. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel, and you guys have a magical trip. Bye-bye.